All right, Brian here with Straight Blast Gym of Bend. I wanted to talk a little bit about a question that I get asked in a couple of different forms. The gist of the question goes like this. Usually a student will ask me when I tell them to use as little speed, as little strength, as little attributes as possible. They'll ask me, how do you know if you're using too much of any attribute? And so generally with that, the cues that you have when you're starting to use too much strength or too much speed are that your forearms start to burn or that your breathing starts to get to a point where you can't breathe with your mouth closed. To do, especially in those first couple of classes, whether it's a foundations level class or that second tier class, is to get the mechanics down perfect without having to use any extra speed or strength. So you will often lose a lot when you first start out doing that, but that helps you develop the timing you need without having to race through it and use a bunch of extra speed. And so generally the idea here is that I want you guys to get good without having to use your attributes. And then when you go to compete, you can add those in. It's actually super easy to add in your attributes. You don't have to practice that. I've never had to practice punching harder or moving faster. And in fact, I find that my cardio tends to be better in competition if I spent more time going relaxed than if I went hard and sprinted. So that's the first kind of cue. Forearms are burning or you can't control your breathing. And then the other version of this question that I get asked a lot is, what do you do if you use too much strength and you want a position? One, you can just continue on and go about your day. That's fine, you could do that. Or you can kind of reset yourself without telling your partner and just let yourself fail the next position, and then have to work yourself back out of that hole. There's a reason that we do these isolation rounds where we don't just touch hands and roll every class. In fact, almost never do we just touch hands and roll a submission in a class. I think I've done that like 3 times in 2 years. So in a normal class, we almost never just touch hands and roll. We have specific classes for that. Instead, we're going escaping from cross-sides bottom or mount bottom or something like that. And if you reset and you're honest about it, you're able to get yourself a lot better, a lot faster. But let's say you are just touching hands after class in that open roll time, and you decided that you kind of freaked out, you bench pressed the person off you. You can bench press them off you, and then without telling them and without just stopping and apologizing, let the roll continue, dial your attributes back to the point where they pass your guard again, and then work the escape properly. I think that's the easy, honest way to do it that requires no verbal communication. And that's the easiest way to kind of keep yourself in check. And so those are kind of the 2 biggest questions I have that people are like, how do I know? And what do I do? And you'll know it because you'll feel it. You'll feel the physiological effects. And what do? You just put yourself back in that position in the most organic way possible. Let them get the pass back again. Let them get to mount again. Don't just flop around like a fish, but use good frames and then get yourself back to that position that you were in so you can work it. And I think that'll help you guys get a lot better, a lot faster. And hopefully that'll clarify for some of my students, because I get asked this about once a week. So thank you guys for your time.